Hey, what's up, Exit the Matrix family? Bob here. Hope you're having a great day. I'm going to have a little bit of a shorter morning talk here today. I was actually listening to something this morning that was pretty important, so I normally cut that short and do my videos as I start heading to work, but I let that video roll for a little while today, so I'm a little behind. But essentially, folks, for those of you that are not paying attention, this video's for you. And this isn't normally my wheelhouse, my expertise, the things that I really delve into deep, but I do always keep my ear to the street, so to speak. And watching the price of gold and silver skyrocket right now, folks, there's a lot of indicators right now that the U.S. dollar is ready to collapse. Right now, you've got foreign countries that are selling off their U.S. Treasury bonds. You've got more countries joining BRICS, and a lot of countries right now are stockpiling gold and silver. You've got to understand, folks, the Ponzi scheme is up. The U.S. fractal reserve banking, debt-based banking system, the Ponzi scheme that's known as the Federal Reserve note, is dead. Pretty soon, the U.S. is going to be at a tipping point where we can no longer even pay the interest on the debt. And the only way that these clowns seem to think they can fix this is to keep printing money, which will continue to steal your wealth, will tax you through inflation, and which means the more you work, and the more costs of everything else goes up faster. You're going to be working more for money that's being devalued faster than you can make that difference up. So you're going to start seeing gas and food. You thought it was already inflating. When the shit hits the fan here, folks, it's going to be unbelievable. You'll be looking at prices of food doubling over just like 2 months' time instead of, a year's time or 2 years' time, like we've been seeing with this with the latest inflation we've been seeing with food prices and everything else. I know right now that here where I'm at, our energy costs have doubled from about a year ago. And we have a small house, folks. I mean, we have an unfinished basement, but not including the basement. Our house is only 1,000 square feet. It's a mountain cabin. It's small. It's fine for us. It's just, me and my wife and one of my sons live in there. It's a little 2-bedroom, 1 bath upstairs, It's a small house, but it's cozy. We love it. But our HVAC system has been out for a couple months. I have a coworker that is an HVAC person that's had a lot of family stuff going on, so he hasn't been able to help me get that fixed yet. And I've been putting it off because I know how expensive it is to call in an HVAC person. And essentially, I know it's just an electrical problem in it. But so I've been holding off. We got by on the tail end of winter with just using our fireplace and an electric heater in our living room that was able to keep the whole house pretty much warm. And luckily the weather has been so cool this spring. I mean, right now, folks, it is 49 degrees on the thermometer on my car heading to work, and we're just a couple days from June here. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, global warming my ass. I mean, this has been the coldest spring that I've seen since we moved here to the Smoky Mountains about 6 years ago. I moved from Colorado, so, we're used to kind of the coldest part of winter, holding on, through February and sometimes even into April. But Colorado's typically a colder state than North Carolina, so and I get it, we're at a higher elevation, but we were at a higher elevation on the plains in Colorado than we are here in the mountains. But it has just been cold. I mean, so the good thing is for us, we haven't had to worry about our air conditioner not working right now because it's been so cool. We've been just using our ceiling fans and our windows to regulate temperatures. And it's been, in a way, it's been kind of a comforting thought that we have been able to, by alternative means, keep our house, the climate in our house controlled, you know, with our fireplace and using windows and fans. And so that's good to know that we can do that in a backup. It would be nice to have our HVAC system back up and running because we've got a heat pump and an air conditioner system in one. But what I have noticed, folks, is that the cost of electricity, for the first 6 years we lived out here, our electricity bill was never over $200. And that was through the coldest part of winter or the hottest part of summer out here. And we thought that was a godsend because when we were in Colorado, we had solar panels on our roof. We had gas and electric in Colorado, and between all three of those bills, every month we were paying about $350 to $400 a month sometimes. So, folks, solar is a scam. I'm just telling you right now. Trust me. We had solar panels, and we fell for the BS, and it was a scam. They, at least in Colorado, they don't allow you. You know, if you produce more than you use, they put a little bit back into the grid, and you get paid back a little bit. But what they do is they limit how much your panels produce. They just readjust that so that you just stay even all the time. And so you actually end up paying more for solar because you're locked into a 30-year loan on solar panels, and by the time that's paid off, they need to be replaced because they don't work anymore. So it's all scam, folks. Everything's a scam in this realm. But what I noticed was right before our heater went out, our HVAC system went out, our last two bills were over $300. And we had never had a bill over $200. And we're pretty light on our thermometer. I mean, our thermostat. We don't run our house really hot or really cold. We keep it at a basic around 70 degrees, year round. I mean, 68 to 70 is kind of the range, just kind of comfortable middle, where you're not having to cool your house too much or heat it too much. And I mean, it's just unbelievable, folks. I mean, that, so it's been kind of a godsend, to be honest, that our HVAC's been out because it's gotten our bills back under $200. All of our power we get at our house is electric. We don't have gas. But I know that people that do have natural gas and all that, their prices have been going up a lot too. So, I mean, everybody's in this situation right now, folks. Your food's going up, your energy prices are going up, your gas for your car's going up. I mean, hell, an oil change in a car now is over $100. It was only about 5 years ago you could get an oil change for about $35-40. I mean, it's ridiculous, folks. And the reason is because the U.S. dollar is dying. These criminals have laundered it for so many years. They've done so many dirty dealings with other countries. They've used it as a tool, a weapon against other countries. And now all these countries have pulled out of it or pulling out of it. And the U.S. is losing its world reserve currency status. And you're not going to be told this by the government or by the mainstream media because they never tell you when to prepare. Because they're preparing. They don't want you to prepare. These people believe in their mindset is that there's just one little piece of pie, and that pie, it's a fight over the pieces of that pie, in that it's dwindling in size. That's how these people think. They're small. They are small thinkers. These people do not understand the abundance of the universe. They do not understand how we interface in with the quantum field. They do not understand that there's better ways for energy, there's better ways for monetary policy. But the reason why there's not better ways is because this is how they enslave us, folks. See, if we had free energy and we had a true asset-backed currency that was not debt-based, then they don't have much control over us then, folks. Because you can get fair trade for your energy and intellect, for your work. Because then your currency would not devalue because it's backed by hard assets like metals and agricultural needs and such. You could have cars not needing to run on gasoline. We could have power that just generates from the power of this realm. Folks, this whole realm is nothing but energy. And yes, I'm alluding to Tesla and some of his work. You can pull electricity out of the atmosphere. You don't need to use coal or oil and gas or natural gas, or you don't need to use wind or solar. Folks, the components that go into wind and solar is so bad for the environment. Those lithium batteries are very toxic. There's a lot of downsides, and those are not efficient energy devices, folks. When there's no wind and no sun, you have no power. It's simple as that. These people that fall for this BS are like the people that fall for the religious BS. They fall for the propaganda. And it sucks because these people seem to have power over all of us, and they are running our monetary policies. They're running the directions of our governments. They're killing us. They're bleeding us dry as far as devaluing our labor, devaluing our wealth. It's a form of theft. It's a form of taxation. Sending our money to foreign nations, without the consent of the people. I could go on and on. You guys get the corruption. The government's corrupt, ultimately corrupt. There are very few good politicians. I'm not saying there's none. There's a few of them. I could name them probably on maybe one hand, or tick them off on one hand. That's it. Doesn't matter, right or left. They're all the same. They're criminals, folks. Don't you get it? They're psychopaths. Psychopaths always want to rule over people. They always want to have power over others. Normal people don't crave that, folks. Psychopaths crave that. And you look at these people, they're psychopaths. They're decrepit. They're disgusting. They'll sell out their own mom for $1. These people are a joke. And many of them that have been in there way too long. They're career politicians. There should have always been term limits on senators and congressmen. And I believe on the Supreme Court also. I don't think you should have anybody placed in a position of government that can be there for a long ass time till they die, basically. That's a lot of these congressmen and senators. They're in there till they die. It's ridiculous, folks. I'm sorry, I usually don't like to go into political stuff, and I get that these are red flags with speech. Where, according to Facebook's new rules now, talking about civics or posts about civics, which means government, you all took civics class in school, right? Is considered low quality content, gets labeled for limitation and demonetization. You can't make this shit up, folks. These social media sites now have gotten to the point now where they say now if you talk about politics at all, you're going to get shadow banned, limited. They may not deplatform you because of it, but they're going to make it so that you have no reach. They're going to demonetize you. We live in a sick world, folks. They're trying to cover up the collapse. And I guess ultimately what I was trying to get at with this whole video, because you all understand the cost of everything going up. Most of you understand how fake our monetary system is and how predatory it is, and that it's a wealth extractor, not a wealth creator. I just, folks, please, just to be on the safe side, put away some silver. If you can't afford gold, I can't afford gold, folks. But even if you just buy one silver coin a week, you're putting something away at least, folks, in case of a collapse. At the very least, right now, it's gonna hedge your wealth. If you can convert a bunch of your savings into that, look, I'm not trying to give you financial advice here, folks. I'm just trying to give you prep advice. It's smart to have a little bit of metal, and I would say physical, not paper, where you can actually buy it from a dealer, put it in your pocket, and take it home, and put it away somewhere. That's what I'm doing. As much as I can afford to scrape some extra money aside for it. And start putting away some long-term food. Folks, a lot of these like food companies, like freeze-dried food and all this, some of that's okay, folks, but honestly, just do it simple. It's simple, folks. If you're able to, raise some chickens. Chickens are pretty easy to raise. Anybody can do it. You don't need a lot of space. Chickens will provide you with constant protein source in case you have to rely on that. Maybe plant a garden, okay? If you do what you can. And buy big bags of rice and dried beans while they're cheap. I mean, you can survive on stuff like that as staples. And learn how to do some foraging, folks. Learn how to forage mushrooms. Learn how to forage greens. I mean, do you know you can eat dandelions, folks? You can make salads out of dandelion greens. There's many edible plants all around you that you've been told are weeds your whole life, and you try to eradicate them off your lawn and everything. And I get it. They don't make your lawn look pretty, unless you have all that straight, perfect-looking grass. But you can't eat grass, folks. However, dandelions you can eat, as long as you haven't put pesticides on them. I've gotten into the habit now, when I make a sandwich or something, I'll go outside, because I don't spray around my house. And I'll go grab some dandelion greens, and I'll rinse it off, and I'll throw it on my sandwich. It's just a little bit, it's a supplement, but hey, that's actually organic food right there. That's good food, That's medicinal too. So just start, folks. Do what you can, okay? What I'm trying to tell you is just don't be caught with your pants down completely. And I get it. It's expensive to prep sometimes, but that's what I'm saying. Little stuff. Buy one silver coin a week. Put it away. Buy a couple big bags of rice and a couple big bags of beans. Put them in some, lockable, like maybe some like buckets or something you can store in your basement. As long as, that they stay dry and they don't get moldy or anything. Mice can't get into it. Just store some food like that, folks. I mean, just some basics. Then that way, if something really does happen in the U.S., or there's a natural catastrophe or a nuclear war, or who knows what, at least you got a little something put aside, okay? It may not be everything you need to maintain your lifestyle, but hey, man, when it comes down to starving, you'll eat beans and rice. And if you can add some foraged greens to that, and you have chickens and you can add some eggs to that, you can live on that, folks. That's how most people around the world survive. Poor countries, that's what they survive on, is simple, like chickens, rice, noodles, and beans, and making breads, with grains. That's simple fare food, folks. And we may have to start reverting to that here. People may just start eating simple like that just to cut their food costs down. Because right now, eating a fast food is like, just my wife, me, and my son, just grabbing fat. And fat folks, I'm not one of these perfect people out there saying, I never eat fast food. I obviously know it's not good for you. And we occasionally only do it if we have a late soccer game or something, or, we're coming home, we don't have time to cook dinner. Most nights we cook at home. We cook home-cooked meals, I'd say 5-6 days out of the week. But occasionally we do something quick or pick something up. But my God, it's like $40 now just to get Wendy's or McDonald's or something, or Chick-fil-A or something. It's ridiculous, folks. I mean, it's almost $100 for us to eat out now 2 times at fast food. And a lot of people don't cook. They don't prepare their own foods, and they live on that junk food, man, on that fast food stuff. And can you imagine their costs right now? Imagine a family of 4 or 5 going to a McDonald's now. It's $60 or something probably. I just it's that's another thing. Save money, cook at home, folks. You know, maybe use your leftovers for lunch the next day. And a little bit of fasting here and there isn't bad either. I usually do not eat breakfast. I wait and eat a late lunch when I get home from work, and then I kind of eat like a Mediterranean lunch, really simple, olives, like maybe some like artichokes, um, and just some meat and cheese. Really simple. I like to have kimchi too to get some of the probiotics in. So that's kind of what my lunch is, and I'll have that every day, and it's pretty simple, pretty cheap meal, but it's pretty decent for you, nutrition wise. And then we'll cook a home cooked meal for dinner. But I forego breakfast most of the time, and I'm not doing that because I'm trying to save money. I just find it's easier on my body, my digestive system, and so there's some things you guys can do, but please just don't do it for me. Do it for your family and for you. Just put away some beans and rice and put away a little bit of silver. And if you can afford gold, do it. If you can convert some of your savings into metals, do it. It's just smart, folks. At the very least, this all somehow blows over and they somehow save the dollar, which I do not see happening. Just the way compound interest and everything works. And the way that our debt keeps going up by the trillions, like faster and faster. Um, I think it's all going to crash at some point. So, better to be prepared, than not. So, I'm not some preparedness guru here, folks. I'm just giving you some simple advice. It's stuff that anybody can do. And if you're in an urban area, it's going to be a little harder. Foraging and doing stuff like that. And I hate to tell you folks that are in the cities, when this all collapses, you guys are in a bad spot because the cities will dry up with resources faster than the country ever will. In the country, in small towns, you still have farms that you can barter with the farmers, and you don't have HOA rules telling you not to raise chickens and stuff like that. So those of you that are penned up in the city, especially in high rises and such, I'm sorry. I'd say just put away dried goods then the best you can. Beans and rice. Do what you can as far as that goes. You're not going to be able to rely on raising chickens or foraging greens from, the surrounding areas, unless you're near a big park or something and you learn how to forage well, and you can supplement from that. But, maybe join a community garden and get your own little plot. You can grow some vegetables and stuff. So anyways, folks, hey, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I'm not trying to scare you here, just trying to give you just some basic advice. And I'm sure most of you that listen to me already, hell, most of you are probably prepping way better than I have. So you're probably ahead of me already. Thank God one resource I have here in the Smoky Mountains is the water resource. I mean, my God, it rains like all the freaking time. So even if we can't use our well, if the power's out, it'd be very easy to collect water, just easily collect water outside. So anyways, folks, I appreciate you guys, and I'll talk to you later.